Hi, good evening traders. Happy Friday, and this is Krishna Joshi here with 7 Points Capital. I'm going to bring you today's trader takeaways. Pretty exciting day overall today. I wanted to show you guys so many stocks in place. So just put up my watch list. Top 6-7 gainers. Look at the percentage change in them. TTD up 30%, Zillow up 26, Roku, OLED, IQ. And we had a few massive sellers as well, like stamps.com. They announced earnings after hours, also broke off their partnership with USPS. So quite a few stocks in play when we came in the morning. And then the other one was Kraft Heinz, KHC as well. So pretty much quite an eventful day even coming in. And given the size of Kraft Heinz, or the fact that they are the leader in like the food space, I did expect like the likes of General Mills, Mondelez, them. I thought there would be pressure on them as well. And to my surprise, spies were actually gapping up today. Like despite the fact that a big company like Kraft Heinz is down 30%, I thought we would probably open like flat or a little down. But nonetheless, we opened up on the spies. We were pretty much like choppy to a little bit of long setups on spies all day, which is what really triggered the momentum in these tech stocks, like something like Roku, which was just insane. I never really could get myself to get long on Roku at any point, especially because of the size of the gap, and it just absolutely kept going up. It never really gave me a spot where I could get involved, or not a spot where I like the risk reward at any point. So no real long setups in Roku. I do remember I ended up trying a couple of shorts. One was the 62 area right around here, where I thought like if this stalls, we could see a little bit of a pullback, probably to weave up, I guess. That didn't happen. Qs were still going up, so didn't really let it go against me anymore. I think I ended up losing like about 12 or 15 cents on it. That was pretty much it. And the other second short I took was at 63 after it rejected this. So just two short trades, really small winners, probably 8-10 cents lost on the second one as well for really small size. Just to get a feel for it, if it wanted to like roll over at all at any point. That didn't really happen. But my best stock on the day today was VIPS. This was for the second day in a row. VIPS was my best stock. Let me go back. Yesterday we had a big gap down, and the 6 level really held significantly. I don't know if I can go back on the 1 minute. Yeah, I can. So just look at this one. The amount of soaking that happened at 6. There was a huge, massive bid. So the moment I saw that, I got out of my shorts yesterday, covered, went long, comes back again, gives another long setup, and then pretty much from there, it's been a long only trade for me. Haven't put on any short position significantly. Probably a couple of instances where I got filled on my long sales when the aggregator filled me for a bid, which was on this one. So apart from that, so before I get too ahead, so today we gapped up through the yesterday's highs as well. So yesterday we made a high of 650, ended up trading in the 640 area, and today we just gapped up above 640, which was showing really good strength. So what I did was I ended up buying 648 on the first pullback right around here. So I'm having trouble with the cursor and the charts. Give me a second while. Yes, there we go. So my first long was on this massive pullback, ended up buying this drop, got 49s, 50s, 51s long, covered some in the 56 area. We drop again, and then got another chance to get back in again. So a couple of long setups in the morning, a little bit of a chase when I bought the 60s and 61s, but I felt like it's a nice opening range break, first 15-minute break, and really giving it a little bit of room, not giving below like 57s. And this ended up being a winner as well. So I ended up covering most of it left it alone for most part because I couldn't really spot a buyer who could squeeze up the stock. And then again, once it got sideways, once it settled down back to sanity, ended up going long again. So had a couple of long setups in this again. Tried buying 58s, goes up, and then just tried to like shake me out of this. So ended up taking a couple of cents loss, got right back in again, and then rode it on the way up. There was one short setup where I ended up covering a lot on the midpoint, ended up getting a little bit short. I didn't mind that, to be honest, because I saw 70s reject. I was long all throughout from 67s, 8s, ended up taking most of it, took a third which I was stuck long, ended up taking the 67 area, got short 67.50 and rode it down. So my key takeaway for going long on this one was I remember specifically this instance where I still had the short position. I tried covering 61 offer as I saw a lot of dark pool prints going off, and I couldn't really buy anything. I tried buying 62s, I didn't get anything, and I had my covers at 63. So that's how quick the stock went up. The path of least resistance was on the upside, and that ended up being my best stock on the day. In fact, 2 days in a row. So that's something that worked out pretty well. And apart from that, I think the other one I want to go over is Dropbox and Kraft Heinz. So for Dropbox, we had earnings. I started off trading this pre-market actually because I saw the stock sold off after hours, conference call going on, stock ended up weak, closed pretty weak in the 2280 area. I think 2280 was a bid in the after hours, 23 offer, and today we just cap up about 24. It sort of settles down. 24 was a huge offer, like it test 24, soak a lot of shares and just drop. So I ended up getting short a little bit pre-market, and then it shook me out just before 9:30, just before the open. I ended up taking off my short, only to find that we had a massive drop right at the open. So missed a big opportunity there, I think, because I had a good read on the stock pre-market. I felt like 24 should hold. Didn't really expect it to go up all the way. I was actually giving it a little bit room, so I ended up covering 24.12s on this one on my shorts, but never really got a chance to get back in again on this first drop. So the first pullback ended up getting short in the 57 area, got short pretty big, covered on the wash. The stock hits 10%, which is SSR, my favorite kind, right? So stock does hit SSR and stock bottoms out for the day. So that was about it. That was like VIPS, and that was part of the reason why I wanted to go over how VIPS acted on day 1 and day 2, and we saw a similar pattern all day. Imagine this being the 6th level in VIPS, just soaks everything, flashes up. Look at the rally, almost 4% off of the lows, and right at this point I'm only looking at long setups, looking at spots where the offer is chasing it down. Now we're dropping at a point where the buyers are able to take control. So I was looking at spots where I could get involved again. So I bought 23.25, rode it up really nicely into the VWAP in the previous area where I got short. I missed a little bit of this long, and again my idea was not getting short at all. So I was staying away from the short side. I was looking at levels where I felt comfortable getting long, so I ended up buying 23.61s right around here on the pullback. Got a small pop, not as big as the previous move, but ended up taking more than half. So I had a rule in mind. I want to take 2/3. I don't want to keep half and trade around the core for a big size. I wanted to keep locking in gains, and this was the move. This was the long move that worked pretty well. And then once the stock started getting steadier around this 31 area, this was another long attempt that I tried. Didn't want to work, ended up taking 3-cent loss, tried it again, and ended up catching a good move again at 26, got a nice rip. So at this point, the stock is moving really nicely, really slowly. It's SSR, and the average true range, look at the range in the first half hour massive, and the range is sort of getting smaller, right? So that's my indication of being able to size up substantially. When I see the quotes moving comfortably for me to buy the offer or get out the bid, I think that's my clue to size up a little bit compared to the first half hour, first 45 minutes. So I ended up getting decent size 26, 31s and started riding it on the way up. Caught another nice spike. So I think this was a fairly easy SSR setup for me. Look at this one, absolutely beautiful bid sitting at 23.30 for I think 40,000 shares. You could easily buy 31s. I even bought 30 and a half at the midpoint, and you could just ride it up. I did end up buying these. I did get slipped on one. I did get slipped on two. But apart from this, I think the stock was long only, easy long setups. Another long setup for the close. This was another nice long setup. I think the best part about this trade was I was able to wait for the entries. Once I got the entries, it was much easy to ride on the way up. And my exits mainly were into the previous resistance. So if I bought 38s, 39s, 40s, my exits were going to be in the 48 area. Or similarly, if I bought when I bought 52, 53, my exits were going to be in the 63, 65 area. I got slipped, lost, got out and stopped out on this one, and then it just rallied up. So Dropbox, overall a pretty good day on Dropbox. And KHC finally. Kraft Heinz, SEC subpoena. The stock looks terrible on the daily. Look at that. So this is multi-year lows. Stocks had a high of 85 plus. The CEO is the owner of, you guys know, the famous Robert Kraft. So I think it was really important to understand SEC news. It's always really significant. So the stock's gapping down. The stock sold off after hours. The stock is still selling off again in the pre-market. So there were a couple of spots where I felt like now we could have a shift in momentum. I ended up buying 36 in the pre-market area. Got out 36.40 on the nice push on this one. And coming in, I felt like I need to see 35.50s hold. If 35.50s are not going to hold, that's it. There's no it's going to be a continuation on the sell side. Look for spots where you can get involved on the short side. So I was waiting for spikes. Missed the first move completely, but I did catch this second move, second push up, and then got a nice really short, got short really nice, and then rode it on the way down. And I think at this point I started considering going long again, because I saw like a lot of green prints, a lot of buying. Every 5 to 10 cents there was huge bids out there, and it was tough to take them out because the stock is down significant. Warren Buffett is the biggest stakeholder in the company, and for someone like him, I think it's a good spot where he would consider going long. Because only a subpoena or a letter has been issued. I'm sure they're going to work out the accounting fraud or accounting discrepancy. But apart from that, this is where I felt like the bid started really coming in, and 34.50 started soaking a whole lot of buying on the bid. It would go down and come right back up. So I'd see like a lot of ISO orders coming in at the 34.50. So I ended up buying some here, stopped out again, day lows. And then right around this level I started buying because I had a good conviction that this is holding 34.50s, giving me a good risk reward. And given the amount of volume and the liquidity the stock was doing, I was really able to size up as well in this one. So KHC, couple of long setups, bought 64s, got out in the 75, 75 broke, got long again, and rode it on the way up pretty much. So kept adding. As it got tighter, got 34.98, 99, rode it up. And this one I got out pretty much at 35.09, 35.10 area, where I felt like this could really pull back. And I think the first place where I wanted to get involved was 75 and 85 area. So the moment it pulled back to 85, I started testing longs again. I didn't want to go, broke down, took a small loss, tried it again. Took a small loss, but at this point I didn't really get involved on the short side because I still feel like this 3450 is significant, and we could see like a big squeeze coming in end of day. Let me just bear with me while I adjust this view. And that's exactly what we got. Like, we got a nice squeeze right at the close, and this was just amazing, just beautiful, coming back to a triple bottom and then just squeezed out. Ended up buying 3460 on this one. I was long a little bit, got out, got back in at 3458, 60, 62, got a nice squeeze. Again, not getting involved on the short side, and then a nice squeeze in the end. So overall, Kraft Heinz was tougher in the morning, I think, given the range. Even though I was short on this one, it wasn't like it would drop and just keep dropping like a typical SSR, but it would just keep squeezing higher. A lot of ISO orders coming in. But I think we did a good job switching our bias, getting long on this level. Probably could have done much better on the short side here. So those are my takeaways for today, guys. Thanks again for watching. This is Krishna Joshi with 7 Points Capital.